Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is primarily going to be for the beginners and anyone that's thinking about competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for the first time or in general and stuff like that. It is just going to be a battle plan, a framework, game plan sort of video to help everyone or anyone who needs it have some sort of a strategy or a game plan to their training, be it just general training or be it preparing for competitions. Just to get some sort of a plan for everyone out there, what to focus on when you're training. Obviously not when you're doing your technique of the day sort of thing, but after it, if you get a chance to roll or drill after class, just stuff to focus on to prepare you, to help you progress faster and give you a chance out there when you're rolling, guys. Stop this option paralysis crack that completely drops you out of your game and you don't know what the hell to do when you get stuck in something. You have too many options and you try this, that and the other. You're better off just having one solid option from everywhere and just going with that. It is all going to be built off something that I call the rule of one, everyone. I'm going to deep dive into that now. This video is going to be made up into 3 parts. Obviously this intro, and then just discussing your options that you have when you're training and when you're rolling and when you're competing, from a takedown perspective or a guard pulling perspective. And then I will give you the options. I will give you some options. I'll give you examples of how to structure a game, structure your battle plan, structure your framework. That'll just give you some sort of an insight or some sort of a way to think about it. This all came about from research I've been doing when I was off the mats for 6 weeks when my wife had surgery, and advice I got from my coaches when I was planning on competing as well. I haven't competed yet due to personal issues and the surgery and stuff, but I'm planning on competing now probably in February. So I have drilled down into this and I have battle tested it and stuff, so it does work if you put in the work and you figure out exactly what works for you. So yeah, we're going to jump into it now in a minute. It is going to be very low techie. Lots of paper and drawing and stuff like that. A little bit of printing out as well, so hopefully someone will get something from this. And if you do, everyone, please hit the like button, please subscribe and drop me any comments if you have any questions. It would help the channel out immensely to grow. Yeah, so we'll get into it, everyone. Okay, so everyone, here is the game plan framework sort of thing here. So you're either going to have a takedown game or a guard passing game. Now the rule of one, you're going to have one option for every scenario. So let's say you're going to do a takedown game. You're going to have one takedown, your one go-to takedown. Then you're going to have one go-to guard pass, and then you're going to advance your position from wherever you land. If you land in side control, you're going to go to knee on belly to mount, and then you're going to have one solid submission under your belt. That is your go-to, that you can just fire ahead at and lock in as quickly as possible. It's the one tried and tested technique that you're going to be using. From a guard pulling perspective, you're going to have 2 options. You're either going to sweep your opponent or you're going to go and straight attack a submission from be it your closed guard or your half guard or your X guard or whatever guard you're using. If you sweep your opponent, you're going to work down the system. You're going to have one solid guard pass again, like the takedown system. You're going to advance to your dominant positions like previous, and then you're going to have your one solid go-to submission. And if you get caught and if you get pinned, you're going to have one solid technique that's going to get you out of pin escapes. From mount, side control, north, south and turtle, you want to have one drilled solid technique that you can rely on, that you're not going to be getting confused thinking what I should do from here. You might have 3 or 4 different options, and by the time you figure out what you're doing, your opponent's submitting you or they're attacking something else. Now from your dominant, if someone ends up turtling on you, you want to have some sort of a turtle back take, be it a truck back take or be it an arm track to a leg step over sort of situation. And then from there you want to have some sort of a back submission like a rear naked choke or a bow and arrow or something. So that would be your two options for beginners anyway. More advanced guys would have takedown game and guard pulling game, but usually people tend to vary off to one area and nail it down from there. Depending on your age and depending on your body condition and if you have any injuries or stuff like that, you might vary more towards guard pulling. It also depends on what you're more comfortable with. Are you more comfortable on top, applying pressure, passing, stuff like that, or are you more comfortable playing from your back, attacking, sweeping, going for submissions, stuff like that? So that basically is the rule of one there. I'm going to give you some examples now of how I would build it from a takedown game and from a guard pulling game perspective. Now, here's your rule of one for your guard pulling example. Your stance, you're going to pick whatever stance you want. You can have a wrestler stance, you can have a balance stance, whatever you want, but just pick one and go with it and roll with it. For your takedown, you're either going to pull to guard, pull to a closed guard, pull to a half guard, pull to an X, pull to a Della Riva, whatever you want. Then you're going to obviously pick your guard. Which guard do you want? Do you want a closed guard, a half guard? Do you want an X guard, a Della Riva guard, whatever you want to play around with there and get proficient at? From your submission, you want a submission that's going to work from multiple positions. For example, here is the Kimura. You can get that from side control, you can get that from mount, you can get it from closed guard, you can get it from half guard as well, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to have one reliable sweep, like I have here, the scissor sweep. Sweep your opponent to get on top if that's your preferred method to pull guard and then get into a dominant position by sweeping your opponent. Then you're going to want a guard pass, something like a knee slide pass or a double under or something like that. And again, then you're going to have your top submission, which is for this example is a Kimura, but you can also pick a cross collar or something like that. That works from guard and it works from top pressure. Then you're going to have your back take, is what I have here is your turtle back take. And then you have obviously your back submission then when you take the back, which is the rear naked choke. For your pin escapes, everyone, if you are going to be a player on your back, or if you're going to be a player that's going to sweep people that you prefer to top pressure, you're going to have to drill down into options. This option here, the bridge and roll, is going to get you into a top position. But if you preferably play off your back and you have a very strong guard game, you might want to go with a knee elbow. That'll get you back into a re-guard, into a half guard or a closed guard. And then you have your turtle escape, which I have here as a shoulder roll, your north-south escape, the underhook sit-up escape, and then you want to have some sort of a backup takedown just in case you get into a scramble and your opponent's waiting for you to pull up guard, something like a cross collar or a double leg or a single leg, something like that, just to give you some variety really. And then you can pretty much work your system from here again. Now next is the rule of one system for your takedown system, sorry. So again, you're going to start with whatever stance you prefer. You could be a balance stance, you can be a wrestler stance, which is low. So just pick which one you prefer and go with that. Obviously the wrestler stance might be better for the likes of single legs or double legs or something. Now, from here I have takedown is the collar drag. Now with your takedowns, you want to be aware of where your opponent is going after the takedown. For the collar drag, they're more than likely going to end up under their hands and knees, which gives you an excellent chance to take their back. And my back take, for example, here is the turtle back take. From there, you would want an optional submission, which I have here is the rear naked choke, but you can go for a bow and arrow, you can go for whatever you like. And if they manage to re-guard up, or if the throw didn't exactly go to planned and they obviously get into an open closed guard, or not a closed guard, an open guard or something like that, you want to have some guard pass. For this example is the knee slide pass, but you can go for your double under or your over and under, or whatever pass you are proficient with, or whatever pass you prefer. Then you're going to advance your position from side control to knee on belly to mount and so on and so forth. And then you're going to go for your submission. So whatever submission you are proficient in, and whichever submission you find that you're hitting more often. For this example is an armbar. You can hit the armbar from almost anywhere as well. From there you would want some sort of pin escape in case anything goes sideways and you end up pinned. From here I have the bridge and roll because it's going to get you into a dominant top position again. And then you're going to have a north-south escape, which is going to be an underhook sit-up escape again. Your turtle escape is going to be a shoulder roll, or you can go a grundy roll, I think that's what it's called, or grundy roll, one or the other anyway. Then you're going to pick a guard and you're going to get good at it, or you're going to get familiar with it in case you ever have to guard up. You can either have closed guard, half guard, whatever you want, but this example is closed. And some sort of submission from closed guard. You can pick the armbar again because you can't hit the armbar from closed again. But in the same as the guard pulling option, you can just go with a cross collar choke. It works in guard and it works with top pressure. Or you can even go for an Ezekiel, it works from both sides as well. Now you would want some sort of a sweep if you don't want to stay on your back. I have here the hip bump sweep. That'll get you into a top position again, and it'll also open up opportunities if your opponent defends the sweep. It'll open up Kimuras, it'll open up guillotines if they expose their neck. And then you want to have a second takedown. I have here the single leg as a backup, just in case, like the last example where you get into a scramble and your opponent's expecting a collar drag. But you can mix it up a bit and go for a single leg or some other takedown option. That is going to be the rule of one from the both systems, everyone. Before we move on, everyone, I just forgot to mention it. Try to keep everything simple and try to keep everything the same. What I mean by that is try to keep synergy throughout your movements, throughout your grips, throughout your techniques. For example, let's just look at escapes, mount escapes, side control escapes. The likes of the knee elbow. The knee elbow can work from side control and it can work from mount. Same can be said for the bridge and roll. It works from side control and it works from mount. Just keep that in mind. And the same with grips and takedowns and stuff like that. If you're going to be guard pulling and you're going to have a sleeve and a collar grip for your guard pull technique, this will also work with a collar drag. It's the exact same grips and it'll just make your life a little bit simpler and a little bit easier, and it will throw your opponent off as well. They're expecting one thing and you go ahead and do the other thing. Just try and keep synergy with all of your techniques. Try and keep things simple, keep things easy. The simpler the better. You should be always able to pull it off under pressure and quickly. Okay, everyone, that's basically the rule of one that I have created my framework around. So it's, in a nutshell, it's basically you have one option from every scenario. Be it takedown system, be it guard pulling system, you have one reliable option that you can go for. Just in the beginning when you're trying to learn bits and pieces and trying to survive, or if you're planning on competing, that you have a reliable plan ahead of you. There's nothing worse than going into anything really unprepared. So yeah, that's gonna be the video. Now everyone, take this with a pinch of salt, and always ask your coaches for their advice. Don't just go for this. There's gonna be holes everywhere in this, so it's decent for it. It's good for a framework, I suppose, but always ask your coaches for their advice at the end of the day. Most of this advice has come from my coaches actually, and I've just evolved it. Now, for future, everyone, this can evolve into a rule of 2 and a rule of 3 and so on and so forth. And you can branch out with this and it will survive in the long run. I think it's a good framework. If anyone's found anything helpful or useful from this video, don't forget to drop me a like, a follow, comment and subscribe as well. It would help me out immensely. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. Safe rolling out there and the best of luck. Bye bye.